So in today's video, we're going to be installing a 300 So in today's video, we're going to be installing an LS into our 300 drift car, and we'll show you all the steps we took and stuff we did to be able to get it in here and sitting in the car the way it is. I'll talk a little more like how to run it. Anyway, the engine mounts we end up using too are the Dirty Dingo engine mounts. So a lot of the guesswork when it comes to stuff like that was taken out for us. We didn't custom make really any engine mounts. Really, we're just melting through it. Make sure you do is you have your belt sander really securely attached, so like you don't have to move around all over the place. This is pretty good, and then you just kind of something kind of like yeah, you know, and then when it's sanded right, you're good.
So the belt sander can't get in all the crevices, and neither can the cutting wheel. So now we have to use the OG old school burr eliminator. But Drew runs over here, grabs the grabs the file and just coasts it down on this box on a box. You want to make sure that when you do anything, it's as unsecure as possible, and you're just at as much risk as possible, you know?
Vices don't work, right?
Just kidding, don't do it. Alright, time to try and do things the right way.
And the problem is, when you use one of these things, it does that thing.
Yeah.
Now, it also doesn't spit a bunch of fire in your face, which
That's true.
is a distinct advantage
Of this.
This method.
Heck, we could probably use scissors because it's soft aluminum.
Oh, this isn't even aluminum, this is steel.
Just small steel. Thin steel.
Really thin.
What are those, tin snips, right?
Yeah. Then after you do this, this little doohickey, and you just grab one of the sharp edges, you know.
Yeah, make sure you cut yourself.
And you just kind of get it better.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's like an alligator.
Yeah, chomp it. Yep.
And see, when it's really nice and square like that.
Yeah, you like to shake out exactly square chunks and then
You
throw it at your
really expensive car, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
All right.
So, so do I do the moving or do you do the moving?
I'll let you do the moving.
Okay, so you just be the holder.
I'm just gonna hold it.
Okay.
Because I have the death wheel.
Gonna like grab and move.
Yeah.
Just be ready for it. Oh.
And we're using rivets for door hangers on a oil baffle.
It's almost a little worse, but
A little.
This looks really...
Let's get a good shot of it. Come on.
really retarded. Like,
I know it's not fully complete yet, but
this is high levels of butchery. I've done some shit in my day. And this is up there.
so it can't go backwards, but it can only flow up.
So all the things move freely. Looks a little bit janky, but basically, you know, you get the idea. Oil can go this way, but if I try and push that way, it stops it, so it doesn't let it come out as quickly as it lets it go in. And we also, because these hinges are a little bit heavier, like thickness gauge of steel than what they use in a lot of the oil pans, we have left the holes from the hinges in here. We didn't try and plug them or anything. Oh, yeah, and also, we did ensure that the pickup tube still fits. It actually hits this before it hits the baffle.
Boom.
So basically, we're having to cut the windage tray a little bit down because the new oil pan runs into it, which is kind of makes sense because the F-body windage tray is like just this part of the windage tray, so that part removed. That does kind of suck because the windage tray does have a function, but if there's not enough room for it, there's not enough room for it, and that's what we're going to need to get in the car. The F-bodies have a windage tray extremely similar to this. They don't tend to have any problem with windage, so shouldn't be an issue. So we're about to cut the rest of this off, go test fit it and make sure it works before we go crazy and clean it all up and everything. But yeah, that's where we're at with it. Let's go. Let's at least spray some of the sand off before we... Ow, that was hot.
Yep.
Just kind of put a couple bolts in it in the car. So basically what we were making clearance for is this little section right here. This is raised up so that it can clear the cross member and the F-body, which also coincidentally is what we need in the Z31. So we just cut it right here. We just had a couple bolts holding it right now. We're about to clean it up and make it look nice and everything. But this is what was where we had to cut it to get it to fit. I mean, it fits perfectly. It's like it was made to be that way. So
Ta-da.
we're gonna finish cleaning this up and throw it all together.
Okay, so we kind of ran into a predicament.
Minor setback.
Yeah, minor setback. It won't turn over. We took all the spark plugs out. And, you know, we were just going to see if it turned over because it did before. And, well, now it's not. So, we're going to make some handy-dandy penetrating oil with 50/50 acetone and automatic transmission fluid. Put it in this old bucket thing, swirl it up.
Only other thing too that I can think about, when we cut that windage tray, if we bolted the oil pan and it wasn't fully, and then we pushed it into the crank and it's somehow getting against that. So if this doesn't work and it like seems fully locked up, we can try that. Also, this is broken, so there we go.
Glad that didn't spray in my eye. Yep. Unfortunate, but yeah. So we're gonna pour the concoction in all the holes and tape the holes so it doesn't spill out. Then we're gonna go ahead and install the engine because it's hard to try to turn over the engine while it's outside of the car, just kind of sitting there. So we're gonna go ahead and install it, get everything bolted down so we'll be able to torque it down to actually see if it'll spin over, but hopefully this penetrating oil will get everything broke loose. Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
The fucking thing wouldn't come up.
Keep you updated.
able to get it to turn over. Turns over pretty good now. Nothing like doesn't feel weird or anything. What we ended up doing was underneath where the flywheel is, we put a bolt. You might be able to even go underneath and see it, but we put a bolt in the oil pan, and we took like a flathead screwdriver and wrenched it between that bolt and the flywheel. And I honestly didn't think it was going to work, but I was just trying it. And I pushed and it started bending the screwdriver, and then eventually it just went funk and moved. And after I did that, I worked it back and forth one way or the other until it got past the spot. And you could feel what it was with some rust in the cylinder walls. Now, granted, it's not really good for the engine. You know, you don't want to have an engine that does that.
Okay.
So Tanner's engine in his truck had a decent amount of pitting and stuff on the cylinder walls, and that engine runs damn good. Better than a bunch of engines we've spent a lot of money on. So at this point, a lot of the stuff you see in this car might look really stupid and ghetto, but I've done it the right way, and it doesn't work. And Tanner did it the wrong way, and it did work. So I'm going to do it the wrong way this time.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily the wrong way, but we just didn't take all of the precautionary measures that you're supposed to make sure that everything's like perfect and dust free and whatever. I mean, you could clearly see lots of rust on the cylinder walls. There was a crap ton of rust and carbon deposits on the top of the pistons.
Well, we built that engine in the back of your dad's F-150, like on a tire.
Yeah. Literally in the back of a truck in my driveway. And we built your engine in a shop, in a garage, over the course of months.
Which that engine did work just fine too, but so did Tanner's, and Tanner's took way less time to get working too.
Yeah.
And it works just as good.
Well, and I drove mine damn near cross country.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I think this thing will definitely be A-okay, and especially with all the oil precautions that we're doing.